white supremacist group by the name of the Aryan Freedom Network, based out of Texas, but with chapters in 40 U.S. states, decides to bring its white supremacist ideology to Shippensburg, PA. They left white supremacy, pamphlets scattered all around the neighborhood, which is a bunch of nonsense. And this is why we as foundational Black Americans are so damn laser focused on the system of racism, white supremacy, because it's a dirty, unjust system, like a welfare system designed to give the white supremacists unearned benefits. And you got the damn tether class running around talking about all we foundational Black Americans do is talk about, racism, white supremacy. You damn right. Somebody got to fight it. All of us just can't flee. If everybody flees and don't stand up to, the system of racism, white supremacy, it never collapses. But, the white supremacists, they getting very desperate, as of now, after taking that L, of losing Charlie Kirk at the hands of one of their own, and they looking to shift and dump the blame and scapegoat the narrative on us in Black society, which is a bunch of nonsense, because they don't want to face that, man, and look at that man in the mirror, which is all the damn white on white crime they got going on in the white community. So I got the audio and the video of, white supremacists, scattering they, white supremacy, racial ideology pamphlets all around the neighborhood, which is a bunch of nonsense. And we're going to walk through and talk about this thing how we normally do, family. Fair use.
Hey, I'm Candace Scalise. This is 21 Next. Today we are talking about a pretty unsettling topic about some white supremacy, like packets, posters that were left around town in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Alex Still joining us now. She's looking into this. Alex, you actually got your hands on this. So give us an idea of where this happened and what exactly we're looking at here.
Yeah. Hey, Candace. Hi, everybody. So this is what was delivered to people on North Washington Street in Shippensburg in Franklin County. So At first glance, it doesn't really look like anything. It's a pamphlet with some rice in it to weigh it down. But then when you open it, it actually shows some white supremacy propaganda that is attributed to the AFN, which is the Aryan Freedom Network. And I'll show you that right now. So this is what it looks like when you open it up, and it's leading people to whitepower.org. And it says, "Your racist calling, will you answer?" Some of the other things that it says are, "We stand against pedophiles and groomers, do you?" It also says that to reject modern culture and embrace tradition, say no to degeneracy. So these.
You hear that, family? Say no to degeneracy. What is damn white supremacist culture but degeneracy? It's based on, degeneracy. This is why the white supremacists, right now are trying, come hell or high waters to, make Charlie Kirk an icon, and murder him, because they ain't got no damn, heroes that stood for freedom, justice, and equality for all people, like we as foundational Black Americans got. You know what I mean? And I like to know, if where these pamphlets were distributed, there's any Black folks in that neighborhood, because if there is, I want to tell them, stay on point like icicles, know you and your surroundings at all times, and protect you and yours by any and all means necessary. But let's continue.
Are what some of the pamphlets said in this packet here that was thrown to houses on the street, similarly to how a newspaper would be tossed.
I also like to know just how many, because I'm seeing an uptick on white supremacist activity coming out of, PA, which is my home state. I like the truth be told, know how many white supremacist groups we got in operation, in PA, because that lets us know what we up against. But let's continue.
That was found all along North Washington Street today. You could see some pictures that were sent to us by neighbors. And obviously this is very, very disturbing. I talked with people today in the community who are a little bit shaken up by this. No one saw anybody deliver these, so no one really knows where they came from. So people are a little bit worried.
Yeah, what are police saying? Obviously neighbors are like, what the heck is going on here? And then are police saying that people need to be worried about this? Like, is this a known organization?
So police said that they are investigating. Right now, they don't have any specific suspects or haven't named any specific suspects. The pamphlets do state that they are tied to the Aryan Freedom Network, and that is a known neo-Nazi network based out of Texas that has 40 organizations statewide. So it is a documented neo-Nazi network, the AFN. is a documented neo-Nazi network, but police have not told us specifically that they're crediting this to that. They said that they are investigating this right now.
Okay, so they're investigating it. And then I see at the bottom of the flyer, it says distributed randomly. So were any of these homes targeted?
The police never know what the hell's going on when it comes to racism, white supremacy. You know, they act dumbfounded. You know what I mean? And this is because, you know, they complicit in that thing as well. You know, they let them run amok, but let's continue.
Targeted? Do we know like why Shippensburg was chosen, or any answers about why these certain houses are the ones that got these pamphlets?
Yeah, I mean, and your guess is as good as anybody who got it. So police said that they weren't distributed to these houses specifically. They said that it appears that they were random. Again, you can see on the bottom they're distributed randomly without malicious intent.
Random my ass, ain't a damn thing, you know, random. You know, nothing is done by coincidence in the system of racism, white supremacy. It's all done by design. And, you know, white supremacists such as, you know, Trump and his regime are really emboldening these white supremacists right now, you know, in my humble opinion, along with, you know, rhetoric like, you know, Charlie Kirk used to pump out, you know, Nick Fuentes and others, you know, and, you know, the damn Democrats ain't off the hook. They ain't no better as well. You know, they too, you know, punctified and, you know, sissy, you know, to stand up to, you know, injustice, racism, white supremacy. So they go along to get along in favor of not rocking the boat. You know what I mean? And that's a bunch of nonsense, but let's continue.
And that's the same thing, the one that I have here. So, and while walking up and down North Washington Street, it was clear that it was delivered to some people on the street, but not all. Some people said that they hadn't seen it. Others said that they got it. And then if you went a street over on the left side and you went a street over on the right side, nobody on either one of those streets had heard anything when I went over there to talk with them. So it seems that this is random based on what police said. They said that it doesn't appear that any specific household was targeted, but that they are furthering that investigation.
It's really sad that this still exists. What was I going to ask you? I was just going to ask you one more thing about this too. No, I don't remember. Okay, so basically police are investigating. They don't currently have a suspect. Yeah, what were you going to add?
I was going to add, so on CBS 21 at 5 and 6, you'll actually hear from this woman, Cassie Bush, who told me a little bit about what it looked like when she first got home over the weekend, which is when police think that these were distributed. And she said she saw essentially just bags like these lined up and down the street. So, you know, clearly there was a lot of propaganda out there when she saw this, but it, again, happened over the weekend. I'm told it was between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. Saturday night. So really could have been anybody that is out, but nobody has seen anybody specifically dropping those off.
Saturday into Sunday. That's what I was going to ask you, is when it happened. Do you know how many of these flyers or pamphlets do police have like a number that were delivered? And was this the only place? Was it just in that area in Shippensburg?
There was similar packets delivered in Fayetteville, but I don't know of any others that have been distributed other than these. I know that this has been an issue in Central PA in the past, so it is disheartening to see that this is happening again. But, you know, after talking with neighbors today, they told me that nothing like this has ever happened in their specific neighborhood before, so they were pretty alarmed that these messages were handed out, and a lot of people have young children. They were concerned just about the messages of hate or extremism that are being shown here. And there are a lot of businesses in that area as well who expressed concern to me. A lot of them didn't want to go on camera, but said that they are pretty disturbed by this. So we'll keep our eye on this for sure. Obviously, again, this is not the only scenario where we have seen this here in Central Pennsylvania. So we'll make sure to check up on this. And if you have seen any sort of propaganda where you are, please reach out to us, reach out to law enforcement, and we'll make sure to investigate that as well.
Yeah, I think the more people who know that this is going on, the more we can tackle it head on and hopefully stop it from happening. So we saw that you were just talking there. So we'll check in with you at 5 and 6 tonight to learn a little bit more too, as this continues to be investigated. So thanks for going out there and just trying to get answers too, especially from the people who found it, like you mentioned, neighbors, businesses, children finding it. So yeah, really interesting there. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate your time today. All right.
Yeah, but in closing, family, we seeing an uptick of white supremacist activity all across the USA, and including my home state of PA. So, maybe in the near future, I have to do my research and go through state by state to see how many white supremacist groups we got in, operation, all throughout the states over here in the US. You know what I mean? Because what this does is lets us know, what we up against. You know what I mean? And also in closing, I want to say, to the FBA family, protect you and yours, by any and all means necessary, and know your surroundings and be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.